Have you heard of Salesforce Premier Success? I bet you have. Well, I'm Erica at CloudTrails, and if you haven't heard about Salesforce Premier Success, let me tell you about it today. Salesforce Premier Success is an optional support upgrade that typically costs about an additional 20 to 30% of your total net licensing fees. While Salesforce markets it as a necessary tool for driving adoption and getting expert guidance, the brutal reality is Premier Support and Premier Success is a terrible fit for most mid-market businesses. Usually it's optimized for enterprise scale, providing 24/7 technical troubleshooting for global platforms and generic self-paced training materials. But while it does that, it often completely lacks the personalized business context, the strategic pushback, and custom hands-on execution that growing teams actually need. So instead of looking at that tool and that functionality at Salesforce, let me give you a few key takeaways to help you understand the difference between working with Premier Success at Salesforce and working with a consultant who can be your admin. Number one, Premier Support is a help desk. It's not a Salesforce admin, so understand that as the big key difference. With the Premier Support, it's going to tell you how a feature works in theory, but it's not always going to go in your system and actually configure to fix what you need. This is a big detriment to our clients because a lot of times they think that Salesforce is going to come in and save the day with their red cape on, well, blue cape. But that's not always the case. Usually they're coming in to tell you what the feature does and how to access it and maybe giving you a Salesforce article or two, but it's not always going to get into your system to actually configure and fix it. Sometimes they'll leave that up to you to do. Number two, the 20% to 30% tax is an efficiency killer for the mid-market budgets. The cost scales with your license fees, which means the more successful you are within your Salesforce org or your Salesforce footprint, the more expensive your generic support becomes. So let's do some quick math here. If a company is spending $100,000 a year on Salesforce licenses, they are blindly cutting a check for $25,000 a year just for Premier Support. So maybe it's just me, but the math ain't mathin'. Know what else you can do with $25,000? Hire a dedicated partner for several months to actually build features that generate revenue for your business. Number three, expert guidance. Their expert guidance usually means generic automated templates, and Salesforce promises strategic reviews and expert coaching webinars, but a lot of times they give you highly automated functionality and it doesn't really have any personality to it, especially not the personality that you need for your specific org. It's just very generic and run-of-the-mill type of functionality. Now sometimes that can work, but sometimes you really need someone who actually knows your org and your business processes. Which leads me to number four. You need context, and Premier Support just doesn't have it. So they understand from a face value what is in their system about your org and understand what was sold to you, but they don't know the discovery that they went through to understand everything that your business is doing, what your users are experiencing. They don't have any context in terms of what was put into place in your org a few weeks ago due to a meeting that happened internally. All of those different things that a lot of admins and consultants are able to do because they've been working with you. Not only are consultants and admins building that relationship with you to understand what's in your org, they're also understanding from a strategic standpoint what you're going to need in the future and how to be proactive enough to tell you what you're going to need or what roadblocks are ahead because you did something a few months ago in your build. At the end of the day, the choice is up to you. But what I would tell you to do is to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. And again, the math just doesn't math when it comes to Salesforce Premier Support.